everything is happening on phone. Netflix of the world, always happening on the phone. Uh, the reason why smartphone, because everyone is there on the smartphone now, even your family members, your grandparents, everyone knows how to operate a smartphone now. Everyone knows how to click a selfie. Everyone knows how to update an Instagram story. So the basic rule of advertising is you
Yep.
the basic rule of advertising
अभी
is
नहीं कह रही मैं,
particularly uh, sorry,
काफी लंबे टाइम बाद कह रही हूँ.
someone is on not mute. Host, can you please mute that person?
Yeah, I have muted her.
Yeah, you can select an option where no one can unmute themselves
Yes, sir.
apart
Yes,
from
sir.
you.
I have done that. I have done that. She's a new joiner, so directly when she joined, she unmuted herself. So I would mute her.
Sure, no problem, no problem. That's basically every Zoom call that happens every day. So that's totally fine. So as I was saying, the
मैंने भी
first
ये
rule
कहा,
of
मैंने कहा कि सपोज का तो करूँ, सपोज भी नहीं हो रहा क्योंकि तेरा ऑलरेडी इसमें मुझे पता है तेरा कितना इम्पोर्टेंट.
रम्या मेहता, please बाद में मैसेज कर सकते हैं इसको. I was warning many students like on professional basis that only the guest speaker will speak and no one else. If you wish to speak only in the guest session where you will have a question and answer and queries in the discussion forum, not now. Thank you for understanding the concern of the entire committee. Thank you.
Actually, they're not aware that they're on not on mute, so that's okay. It's by accident. I hope no one speaks anything which is not meant for the larger crowd. So I was talking about the first rule of advertising. Basically, wherever your target audience is, that is where the advertising should happen. When it comes to digital, it's your smartphone. Okay. So whenever you guys thinking about digital as an advertising platform, think about the smartphone. Think about your screen size. That 5.5 to 6-inch screen, that is your game when it comes to advertising on digital. Uh, Basically, all the books that you're reading right now, when it comes to marketing, when it comes to advertising, all the theories, they remain same. They're timeless theories. People have done a lot of research to create those theories, and they won't change. Not today, not 50 years after it, because it's basically human behavior. Uh, that might not change eventually. However, the platform does. 10, 20 years back when digital was introduced, it was a platform, nothing more than that. Advertising happens across platforms. Your traditional advertising happens on uh, TV, radio, print, outdoor, experiential, and then you have another platform added, which is digital. Now, when digital came into the picture, a lot of people had uh, myths about it. A lot of people had apprehensions about it, that we don't know if that will work or not. However, as per my experience, all my clients, when I used to work for an agency by last year, all the clients have focused their budgets uh, to majorly digital and keeping less budget for traditional media marketing. Uh, some of the brands, some of the big brands are made what they are today because of digital advertising. Uh, Quick example is OnePlus. OnePlus hasn't done any TV commercials yet. Uh, all they did was a influencer digital campaign to launch themselves. The invite only campaign, if you might remember, that you had to had an invite to get access to a OnePlus phone. That was a digital campaign. So they didn't spend crores and crores in traditional advertising. Also, their TG was youth, and youth typically spend less than 30 minutes today in front of a TV. So their TG was on digital, hence they advertised on digital. Now, I'll take some time on this slide because the next part is slightly important for every one of you. And don't worry, this presentation will be shared with you all. So it's okay if you not make notes and just listen. Uh, when I was in UPS, I hardly took notes. I just focused on what the faculty was speaking. And that was more than enough for me to take away back and learn about what I did today. So basically just focus on this next point because it's very important. It's a fundamental concept. So there are typically 4 stages of consumer cycle, and this is applied across platforms. It is not necessary for digital, but because the flexibility of digital is so much that you can track everything and you can get all the analytics, which can't happen on a TV or a radio. There's just single unit of analytics there, right? So when it comes to digital, there are only 4 stages of a consumer cycle: awareness, consideration, conversion, and delight. ACCD. It's another short form. Uh, Basically, what happens in awareness is, and I'll take an example of a consumer. Let us say uh, you broke your phone, okay, or your phone died. Now you get a realization that you need to change your phone. Okay, this is your mind space that you need to change your phone. Now you are in an awareness cycle for an advertiser. If I'm targeting you and I know that uh, you just made a realization that you broke your phone, I'm not going to sell you my phone directly. That doesn't happen on digital. Advertising uh, is slightly different from a traditional. Advertising on digital is two-way communication. We engage, we talk to our consumers on digital. Unlike TV, with just a communication that is spread by a TV commercial by a brand, and everyone understands, no ad talks bad about any of their products. So when it comes to digital, you recently broke your phone, your battery died, and it's not usable. You realize that I need a phone. Okay, now, the way I will target you, because you're in a awareness category, I'll tell you 5 best phones of 2020. I'm not talking about the budget. I'm not talking about the features. I'm just talking about 5 best phones because you are in that cycle. Now you read that content, you watch that content. Okay. And now your consideration stage comes where you realizes I need a smartphone worth rupees 15 to 20,000. Now you're getting more specific. Earlier you just realized that you need a smartphone or you need a phone, right? Now that is awareness. The content that the advertising that will happen on digital for awareness will be totally different, will be very generic. Just we want to help you understand, okay, you need a smartphone, there are some smartphones available. Next cycle you will realize that I need a smartphone. I have a budget for 15 to 20,000. Okay, that's your second cycle. Now, uh, every digital advertiser will target you through YouTube ads, through influencers. You could always see a lot of people search best smartphones under 20K. Uh, that's a consumer behavior. That's also the advertiser also get to know, okay, that whosoever is searching or this keyword on YouTube, and I should be integrating with the top influencer there. Uh, let's say Technical Guruji. Okay, 15 to 20,000. He's a big name in the influencer industry. I've worked with him earlier. He makes such videos, right? 10 best phones. He reviews all the phones. So my first uh, collaboration with him for a digital advertising will be that if he has created a video best phone under 20,000, my brand has to be there, one of the brand. That's a paid deal. He will charge me for that. Okay. A lot of influencers, 80% of the influencer content that you see online talking about a product, either they have been sponsored by the brand or they share an affiliate link in their description. So they always say, if you want to buy this phone, you can go to my description and click on the link. You always see an Amazon link, which is an affiliate link, which means whenever you click on that link and you buy that phone, your influencer will get certain percentage of that. Okay. So now consideration, you know you need a smartphone, and you know that you need a smartphone under 20K. Now there's a conversion. Now you're comparing brands. Okay, you have a lot of options there, especially in smartphone categories. There are a lot of brands doing amazing work under 20,000. We call them budget phones as well. Now conversion, there are certain factors that you will consider to convert, which might be camera feature, which might be space, which might be processor, which might be looks, designs, all these factors, right? So as an advertiser, when I want you to uh, take you through a consideration cycle to a conversion cycle, I'll focus on specifics. Uh, let us say you started with a smartphone. I know you need a smartphone. I know you need a smartphone worth rupees 20,000. Then you might have searched, I need a smartphone under 20,000 with a good camera, with the best camera, or with more hard disk. So I understand that you want a smartphone with 20,000 rupees that has good camera. Now, all my content that I'm targeting to you through ads, through Facebook ads, through Instagram ads, through blogs, through reviews, through influencer, will be specifying on why my brand has a better camera than anyone else, right? And that is how I'm taking you through one step down the funnel. Uh, Now, this is the beauty of digital, that you can do everything like this. Uh, a quick task for you guys, 5-second task, or let's say 10-second task, and I'll wait 10 seconds. Just keep your phone like this, everyone, okay? And repeat after me. Pizza, shopping, smartphone, fashion brands, sale, discount, car loan, OTT. Okay. By the end of the day, you'll be getting a notification, a message, a email, a ad related to these keywords. So this is a task, this is an experiment that you can do. Okay. Now you're in your conversion stage, where the final decision happen. Uh, for a smartphone, a user ideally take 15 to 20 days to take a decision. Now this 20-day window is divided into various stages: awareness, consideration, conversion. Okay. On the 20th day, you will make up your mind, and definitely you will be making that purchase online. Okay. If you're an offline person, right, some of the users, what they do is they read about everything. They do all the research online. Then they go to the store, and then they review it. Okay. That how does it feel, how it's actually working, and that happens. So Google has a concept called ROPOSO, research online, research offline, purchase online. Okay. So for a smartphone, it will usually take 15 to 20 days for everything for you to do as a user and make that purchase at the end of the 20th day. Now, my job as an advertiser is to keep you engaging for those 20 days, so that you're hooked, you're triggered psychologically, and I'm showing you content that is relevant to you. It's not a TVC that is for masses. Okay. I'm not talking to masses. I'm just talking to you, individual person. That's the power of digital advertising, that will help me understand you better, talk to you in a better context. So sometimes you always feel one of the most common example is that abandoned cart remarketing. You go to a Myntra, you like apparel, uh, you add it to your cart, right? And then you quit the app. Now, next thing is you're seeing that shoe, that dress, that jacket everywhere, right? Because it captures your cache, the cache of your internet. It captures that and it retargets you. That's a cart abandonment marketing strategy. Uh, I've shared this tip with a lot of people. If you want to save yourself from that, go to your history and clear cache. You won't be getting any remarketing ads. Because the audience size is low here, I can take that risk, but it's not good for me as advertiser that I tell you that secret. How can you get rid of advertising on digital? But if you're fed up of those remarketing ads, just clean up your cache and make it a habit to clean your cache every week or 10 days. That's how we target you back. Now, let us say all my content for all the stages worked, okay, for awareness, consideration, conversion, and you finally bought my product. You finally bought me. Now, the cycle on digital doesn't stop here. Traditionally, it used to shop, I bought your product, thank you so much. My job is done here. But today in 2020 digital advertising sphere, my task is not done at all. I have to keep you engaging. I have to make you an advocate so that you can refer 10 people. You speak. That is the best example of that is OnePlus. Okay, OnePlus is just another Chinese brand, but why is it so different than Xiaomi, Oppo, and Vivo's of the world? Right, Oppo is the parent company of OnePlus. But if you look at the brand story that is happening, Uh, Give me a minute. So, yeah. But if you look at the brand story carefully, the way they have positioned themselves is a very premium, classy, modern youth brand, right? And that doesn't happen by just selling products. It happened by engaging with your consumers, creating community, and keeping on them and making them loyal. Uh, I was a OnePlus user for at least the last 6 years. I bought OnePlus X, I bought OnePlus 5. Okay. Uh, because I love their content, I love their philosophy of never settle. That is something that resonates with me personally as well. That never settle, and that enthusiasm. I love their content on social media. I love their phones. So the entire experience for me was not just to buy a phone, but buy a name, buy a community. That's the reason why Harley Davidson was a such huge brand, but has to exit India because their product is not that great. It's the name that people buy. It's the hog community that they buy. Uh, Not the same goes for Royal Enfield. It's not a product that they have the best product in that price segment. Nothing. You can rip Royal Enfield in 100 ways, but still people buy it. Why? It's that the journey after the conversion happens. Uh, People start talking about it. People talk a lot about the sharing their bullet stories. They're sharing their OnePlus shot on OnePlus, everything. So that creates a mental space for you that you connect with this brand. Hence, you stay loyal to that brand. Apple is the biggest example of that. If you haven't watched Apple 12 presentation, do watch it. It's the most beautiful live online webinar presentation I've ever seen, right? But when you talk about Apple 12, it's nothing. There's no new invention. There's no innovation. There's nothing glamorous about it. They just merged iPhone 11 with iPhone 6, designed it like that, and they're selling it to the mini version will cost people 70,000. Imagine the tag of mini attached to it, and you have to pay 70,000. And don't talk about iPhone 12 Max, right? So it's not the product that people are buying. It's the relation to that brand. They stand for minimalistic uh, creators, visionaries. So everyone aspires to be someone, right? I want to aspire to be a visionary. So which is the best product for a visionary? Apple. Every amazing kick-ass entrepreneur, creative minds are using a Mac, right? So that becomes my hook. If I think I'm the best, I should be using Apple. So that's how the delight part plays a very critical role that can only happen through digital. It can't happen through a TV ad, through a radio ad, or anything. Uh, okay, I hope you guys got a gist of this consumer cycle. This is very important when you're looking to create any content, any strategy when it comes to digital. Okay.
Mr.
The
Ravish,
next, yeah,
Suranjita Halder has a doubt. Like, are we accepting the doubts now or later?
we'll keep it for the end here.
Sure, sir.
Yeah, thanks. Please note it down. Please park your question. I'll do a quick Q&A session and I'll talk to you individually. Okay. Uh, Now, when it comes to digital, just like Bollywood industry, it's all about entertainment, entertainment, entertainment. Just like in advertising, it's all about content, content, and content. Anything and everything that you see on your smartphone, on your desktop, is a piece of content. It could be a static image, it could be a text, it could be a video, it could be a GIF, it could be a cinematograph. Anything that you see, it could be a banner, a person speaking, an influencer speaking, is a piece of content. Now, when it comes to content, we have a very simple rule. Okay, and I'm sure that when you're studying advertising, if you are an MBBA or MBA, there are only 9 emotions to play with. We in Hindi we call them navras, right? Humor, anger, sadness, motivation, thrill, all those nine. These are the only 9 emotion that you have to play with. Now, whenever you're thinking of a content piece, okay, uh, you have to understand your target audience, right? You have to understand your consumer journey that I just talked about, the 4 cycle. So let us say your target audience is a 26-year-old, okay, living in a tier 1 city, a metropolitan city, might be his first job coming from a tier 2 city. So let's say I am the TG. I was born and raised in Dehradun, but I'm doing my job in Gurgaon. I'm 26 years old. Okay, so these are the demographics. Now, understand your consumer journey. Let us say I broke my phone and I'm looking for a budget phone under 20,000. So you know that I'm in a consideration stage where I'm getting into specifics, right? So you understand me that Ravish is a 26-year-old living in Gurgaon, is from Dehradun, uh, looking for a smartphone worth rupees 20,000. uh, Understand your brand that you're working for. If I'm OnePlus, I'll be more talking about the features, the design, uh, the community angle to it. Okay. Understand your platform for where you're creating this content. Is it a text message? Is it a TV commercial? Is it a radio? Is it a digital assets? Digital assets? Is it a blog? Is it a social media post? Is it a 1 minute of video? It's a 3 minute of video. So you need to understand your platform in that way that what type of content you'll be creating, right? Uh, there's a debate between traditional and digital agencies about the framework that happens. So usually what happens is, every creative head out there will say, uh, uh, facts, data, I don't care. I'm all about creativity. If something feels right, I know my target audience. And I'll think of an idea which is a platform agnostic idea. What that means is that I'm not thinking specifically about a Facebook video. I'm thinking about an idea. Okay. Kuch to meetha ho jaye is a platform agnostic idea. It's a communication idea, right? It's a communication line coming after of a positioning, breaking down to positioning into 100 pieces and picking one advertising line from it. Kuch to meetha ho jaye, and it has become timeless. Now kuch to meetha ho jaye can be executed to any platform, right? I can create a TVC out of it. I can create a radio jingle out of it. I can create outdoor hoardings. I can create digital posts. I can create emailers, anything. So this is one way that you approach, which happens basically in traditional advertising. All your agencies which just do traditional marketing, Ogilvy, McCann, JWT, Mudra. These are some traditional agencies, Leo Burnett. Uh, these are some traditional agencies which are handling some of the best brands. Now their framework is this. When it comes to digital agencies, what we do is we like our data. We are creative people. Everyone has studied advertising. Everyone has a experience in advertising. Everyone is in the creative head of a digital agency is equals to a creative head of a traditional uh, agency. However, our approach is different. We want data. We want backed by facts. We want insight. Okay. And then we think what is the best idea for our target audience and what are the best platform it should be disseminated. This helps in two things. It saves a lot of brands money. Uh, Maybe my idea doesn't have to be a TV commercial worth rupees of 3 crores. Okay. Maybe it doesn't have to go to a radio piece. So as I talk, OnePlus never released a TVC. They're such a big brand, and imagine why didn't they had a TVC? Because they studied their target audience. Their target audience was not on TV. Why don't you see a BMW or a Audi ad so often on a television? Because the target audience is not watching TV at all. They're very busy people. They might be reading some newspapers, some magazines. They will be on LinkedIn. That's where you should be showing your ad. So a think tank in BMW or a Merck said, why should you waste money on TVC when your TG is not watching TV at all, right? So digital platform framework works with a lot of data, a lot of insight because that's available. TV doesn't have any analytics. You just get a TRP or a GRP, and that happens on a mass scale. You can't understand the nitty-gritties of a consumer behavior. Here, I can track your single click on which section of my website you spent your most of your time. The thing called heat map. Okay, so if I have a website, I can specific tell you that 80% of my audience is spending the most time on this page. So I'll put my advertising there because you're reading that part the most, right? So that's the benefit of a digital framework. Well, you can track everything. Uh, you guys are into OTT, watch The Greatest Hack. You'll know the dirty backstory about the Facebook and the data breach that happened. You know, everything that you're doing online. The Social Dilemma is another TV series, digital series that you guys should definitely watch. Uh, and I always take my webcam. I have a webcam cover, which is usually there 100% of the time until unless I'm doing a meeting. There's a reason behind it, right? So data is something that is captured by anything and everything. Like I said, when you're saying things to this, uh, your Google Assistant, your Siri, your Beacon, your all the apps whose terms and condition you have just clicked on without looking at them, you have given access to everything on the smartphone. So it's not a rocket science that they have your entire data, right? So that's has advantages and disadvantages of in digital advertising. It's about ethics. So 9 emotions to play, 4 key things that you're doing. So next time you get an assignment that you have to create an advertising, take this brief from anyone who's giving you that excitement. Who is my target audience? Okay, do I have to make a decision level advertising, which requires to make him sell, or do I need to make him consider my brand? Okay, the communication will differ. A decision stage advertising will be a lot of sales. Okay, why you should buy this, or here is the discount, here is the benefit once you buy it. Awareness will be a lot of more of generic, a concept based. So always ask question that what is that mindset, what do you want my user to do after watching this TV? uh, do you want him to buy the phone immediately? Do you want him to research about my product, or do you just plugging in the brand name in my head? Understand your brand. Decode a brand like a person, the personality of a brand. Imagine every brand and every textbook, all the commerce student out there, it's a separate entity. There's a reason why we call it a separate entity. You are trying to define a brand as a person. What does he look like? What type of clothes he wear? What type of brand that brand might be using if that was a person? uh, what type of content that brand might be watching. So try to humanize your brand. Okay. And again, the last part is platform. Is it a 360-degree marketing campaign? Is it a digital only campaign, or is it only an activation campaign? You should be clear about things before you dive into brainstorming about the campaign. Okay. Now, digital advertising, clearly after that long slide, I'm sure that's a lot of gyan for you guys, but that needs to be there because that's the fundamental of digital advertising. Digital advertising is not just an ad, not just a piece of content that you're creating. It's a complete journey that you're taking along with your consumer. So you have to be there to help them at every step. Why do people search on Google? Because they're looking for solution, right? I want a coffee shop near me. That's a solution I'm looking. So your brand has to be there to serve them, to help them. So it's a complete journey that you take on digital. So always remember, one digital ad, one TVC won't do in digital campaign. It has to be close knitted, a user journey based campaign. Okay. uh, some because I always feel like whenever I'm talking to students, I feel like I'm like a time traveler. Maybe in a year or two you might be in my position. So as a expert or as a working professional, it's my responsibility to give you some information uh, in advance, so that when you come here on this side, you are basically aware of certain facts. So some industry jargon specifically for digital advertising ROI, return on investment. Every client wants to know, I invested X amount of money, what is the return on it? Okay. It could be engagement, which is how many people interacted with that ad, because YouTube has views, YouTube has likes, Facebook has likes, reactions, Instagram, comments, share. So you can track engagement, right? On TV, you can't. You don't know what's the engagement rate in a TVC. Views, definitely all the video is going to be out there. Facebook launched a 15-second thumb stopper uh, some time back, which was just 15-second videos, because they said that the most attention span of a Facebook audience is of 15 seconds. If you can convey your message in 15 seconds, you will get higher results. Impressions, how many people have seen it, right? Uh, Reach. So impressions and reach, I will request you to Google these. Every platform has a different point of view in that. So basically, reach is the maximum number of people, unique number of people you have reached. Okay, there were 10 people in your audience, you reach out to 10 people. That is 10 reach, right? Impressions could be 20 within the 10 people, because some of your people might have seen your ad once or twice. So depending on the frequency, your impressions are always higher than your reach. Uh, CTR is basically click-through rate. If you're promoting a website or a link, how many clicks have been done using your ad. Cost per acquisition is, as I told you, it's a journey, right? You might have started your advertising from a blog, then took him to a social media, then to a website, to a landing page, and then final purchase. It's a journey. So what is that cost per acquisition uh, that that was required to convert me from an awareness guy to a decision guy, right? So that's how the client measures their investment as well. Moment marketing, it's also called trend marketing, real-time marketing, which happens if there's something trending, right? If you guys watch content online, Tanishq had to put down their ad, right? Which sparked a little bit of backlash in terms of sentiment. And if you're on LinkedIn, this is the every second post that you're reading about why it was wrong. Okay, but 2020, and they were talking about harmony, and still people reacted to it as love jihad or whatever, right? So it's a trend. A brand like Tanishq competition, the best marketing move will be that we are support with Tanishq. We are in support with Tanishq. On digital, it's not about selling. It's about leveraging moment to create mind space for your consumer. A Tanishq competition will be simply creating a social media post saying we are with Tanishq. It was nothing wrong and we stand by them. It's a support that you're showing to your competitor. Your TG is feeling good about it. You know, you're responsible, you're mature enough as a brand to take that. You're gutsy enough to take a stand like that. Organic and paid is something, see, always consider digital has two aspects to it. Organic, which doesn't require any money. Okay, blogs, writing blogs every month doesn't require any money to promote it. But if you're promoting it on social media, that comes under Facebook. You might be doing 50 social media posts uh, on your page, but you might be only promoting 10 of them, right? So people are also worried about that, you know, everything will give results if it pushed, right? If it's boosted, it will give you reach, it will give you likes, it will give you shares. But what is happening to my organic? So check out Zomato's page. The type of organic engagement they get is pretty high as per the industry standard. So that means their content is amazing. Their TG is resonating with the content. Okay. Here are some pages that you should definitely follow. Social Samosa is one, Marketing Mind is one, Mad Over Marketing. Akshay Pathak is Zomato's creative head. He has his personal page, and all the creative, all the design that you see from Zomato is done by him. Fake Ad Co is amazing page that I personally follow. They were the inventors of the trending formats. If you know what I'm talking about, there was certain thing, a similar type of post that one person does it, and then rest of all the brands follow them. That's a trending format. They invented it. Ankur Warikoo, founder of nearby.com. Now he's pursuing his consulting project. Amazing content. Listen to him, learn from him. Manu Kumar Jain, Xiaomi's CEO, president. Uh, uh, Look at his LinkedIn. You'll get a lot of valuable content from there. Vaibhav Sisanti, if you're on LinkedIn, you might have got his LinkedIn workshop ad.
Yes, sir. Even Taylor Offer. Taylor Offer is Forbes Best Digital Marketing on LinkedIn. Yeah, you can follow him.
Yeah.
Taylor
Right.
Offer. Yeah.
Yeah. And the Minimalist. Minimalist is a digital agency. Earlier, they started by creating minimal posters, and now they're a full-fledged, profitable agency. Okay. Some tools and training. This presentation is also designed on Canva. I'm a pro Canva advocate. I've been using Canva since 2014, just after I passed IMC. That was the first year of Canva in India. HubSpot Academy is amazing to understand the digital marketing space in detail, theory-wise. Facebook Blueprint is a course that can help you understand Facebook. LinkedIn Learning is for LinkedIn. Google Digital Unlocked was launched last year after Narendra Modi initiated Digital India campaign. It's a free digital marketing course from Google. Everyone can go through it. And Twitter Frightful is obviously there. Okay. So when it comes to digital, it's all about adapting. Today, the things are different. Tomorrow, it will be different. No matter how long I've been in the industry, okay, I can be outdated by a technology tomorrow, uh, right? So I have to keep on upgrading my skills as a marketer, as a digital advertiser, constantly. Some of the brands that I personally like is Amul. Amul only does moment marketing, topical posts. Swiggy. Swiggy hired entire creative team uh, just to give a competition to Zomato when it comes to content. So imagine the importance of content online. They hired entire creative team so that they can create amazing content like Zomato. And now, if you see, their content is at par at Zomato. Look at their mailers, amazing mailers. Cred, everyone might know about Cred. Uh, Dunzo is again amazing with content. Fanta, look at Fanta Global and India page. Global is the best. I would say Burger King does a lot of activation, a lot of experiment videos, a lot of target to McDonald's as a rivalry. You can definitely check out their banters. Red Bull definitely at that peak. Uh, when Red Bull does something, it's near to impossible. They made a person jump from space holding a Red Bull. So you can't imagine things like that. They are at a different league, and a brand like Red Bull can only pull that off, right? Nike definitely is a good motivational. They changed their marketing strategy 4 to 5 years back, where they introduced a free size model, natural looking model, not that athletic. Nike's for everyone. Uh, it's about running. It's not about that you have to look good to be fit. You can be fit as whatever body type you are. So it was a strong stance that they took. So you can definitely follow them. Before I end this presentation, and I had just this couple of slides because I think there's a lot of to understand, and I would request every one of you to research about all the elements I spoke about. Everything is available online. You don't need a degree to understand these things. Everything can be learned from YouTube, from Google, and all the training material that I've mentioned, it's out there. All the basic fundamentals that you need are available there. Yes, acknowledging the fact it's a pandemic, uh, every industry has transformed into digitalization. Everyone has started using Zoom. Zoom was founded in 2011. No one knew about Zoom. Uh, it took a pandemic for their success, right? So you never know what's going to happen tomorrow. Uh, a lot of companies have been affected, a lot of employment have been affected, especially in advertising, because uh, people are not in a mindset to buy things, right? A lot of people have not got their salary, so they don't have that budget to spend. So a lot of media, when it comes to advertising, has gone black. Uh, because brands are not willing to spend because no one is willing to buy. But now, again, it's a festive season in India and people will buy things online. Comparatively, a lot of e-commerce brand got a great raise after pandemic. Only positive thing about advertising was that all these e-commerce websites got a huge growth. People started anything and everything online. I order everything online. I don't go out to shop anything. Everything is available online. So I basically use Dunzo for everything. I use Myntra, I use Amazon for everything, and then all the brands were delivering to your home, right? So definitely it's a difficult time. This is a time where revolutions are made. Any industry, any success story, any growth story will come out of this pandemic, right? Uh, if you see a lot of e-learning, uh, Byju's, White Hat Junior, these didn't existed 5 years ago. But due to pandemic, they got investors. They are now bombarding with advertising. Their valuation has gone high. No one imagined that Byju's will be sponsoring IPL. No one could imagine. It's a startup, right? So definitely digital as a space in terms of entrepreneurship, in terms of advertising, in terms of career, is booming right now. It depends on you, what type of field you're looking. A lot of MBA students will be entering, going to big brands as assistant marketing manager, marketing executives, right? If you don't have knowledge about digital, then it's a tough task. Uh, and that's a challenge I face with my clients. They've been in the industry for last 10 years, but they're not aware of any digital as such. So being young students right now, before entering to advertising space or marketing space, in fact, as a marketing manager, I would request you guys to be well versed with the digital advertising space, so that when you go, there's something that you can understand, you can learn, you can give your input. And definitely, if you are strong about digital, your growth path is amazing. Okay. That's it for my end, guys. I'm reachable on LinkedIn and Twitter. Ravi Sandral. You can follow me on LinkedIn. I will take now questions, if that's okay.
Yeah,
If
so the rounds for questions are open. Anybody who has any queries may please text.
may
Yeah,
raise the hand, may raise the hand, please raise the hand, and we will accept and give you the opportunity to question. Don't flutter here, just raise the hand here down. Yeah. Arnesh Bakshi, please proceed.
yeah. Can I proceed?
Yes, sir. Yes, you can.
Yeah, yeah. So, hi, Ravi sir. First of all, I would like to thank you wholeheartedly from the whole team of GEMS for being here and enlightening us with this topic. So, I had a couple of questions. The first one being like, how important is in search engine optimization when we talk about advertisements? Because it is one thing to create an advertisement. It's really important to hold on to that position so that you can have a larger reach. So, how important? What role does an SEO play when we talk about advertisements? And the second one is uh, like how does a change in ad rank affect cost per click?
Okay. So SEO is maybe a drop in the ocean when it comes to digital advertising. It's a hygiene step. Okay. It depends on your objective. Now, all the intent based, when I say intent based, like this is something you will search for, okay, on
Yeah.
Google. SEO doesn't work if you're not searching for it, right?
Yeah.
So if you're searching for something, right, so you have to make sure that you're in that position, so that people can find you quickly. Okay.
Yeah.
So it depends on the category. So a lot of B2B brands, I would say, FMCG brand SEO is nothing for me. I don't have to do SEO if I'm a FMCG brand. Okay.
Okay.
But if I'm a B2B SaaS product, then maybe SEO will play a more important role, because people read a lot about tools, a lot about SaaS. It's more technical, right? It's more
Okay.
literature driven. I can't sell your SaaS software by hiring Shah Rukh Khan, right?
Yeah.
I have to be technical. I have to educate you about the tools, about the product. So all the industries that are B2B focus on SEO. Now SEO, as per Google, there's no fixed formula for SEO. Okay, no one can predict Google's algorithm when it comes to SEO.
Yeah.
All you have to do is follow certain guidelines. You create content. If your content is good enough, if you're doing certain things which are fixed, it's a very one of the most I would say boring jobs in digital is SEO. uh,
Okay.
right? It's very boring, but it's critical for some businesses, so people do.
Yeah.
It's one of the lowest paying jobs when it comes to digital advertising. Okay.
Okay.
So it depends on your category, and it's okay if you're not ranking in top 3, okay, because you can always put an ad above that. If you search anything on Google, before your organic result there is an ad that you have paid for, right?
Yeah.
So that has defeated your entire SEO exercise for your brand. So people are
Okay.
doing that, right? Because as a user, you and I might not differentiate between the ad and an organic search. So if you Google anything, you'll see top 3 result and there will be a Chotusa ad written on it, right?
Yeah.
So they haven't done any SEO, by the way. They just
Okay.
paid for it. They paid
Okay.
for the keyword. They put a bid on Google AdWords, and they're there, right? So
Okay.
all the hard work that the person who's actually ranking first
Yeah.
has gone to bed with anything, right?
Okay.
So SEO is necessary, right? It's a long-term goal. It's a long-term exercise. Any SEO practice will require at least 6 months to show results,
Yeah.
and then it's a cutthroat competition out there, right?
Yeah.
So it depends on the industry that you're focusing on.
Okay.
And when it comes to, let us say, if you're searching for an Apple phone, right?
Yeah.
If your apple.com is on the top, it doesn't make any impact on Apple as a brand, even if
Yeah.
it's not, right?
Yeah.
So totally depends on the brand and niche you're targeting.
Okay. And I had one more question. How does a change in ad rank affect cost per click?
So definitely, so I think we are mixing two things here. One is
Okay.
your SEO organic results that doesn't require any ad element
Yeah.
to it.
No.
That
This is
doesn't require.
another part. This is another thing, completely different thing.
Okay. So let us say you have bid for a certain keyword. Okay.
Yeah.
If your bid is comfortable with all the competition, your ad will show in the top 3, right?
Yeah.
It's all a bidding game. So Google AdWords, when you run an ad, it shows you a decent average bidding for a keyword. Let us say smartphone is my keyword, right? So Google will tell me 140 per click is a bidding that is
Yeah.
happening currently, right?
Oh.
That means competition is paying 140 per click. If you
Okay.
want to make your chance better, you have
That's
to
the
bid
minimum you
more
have to
than.
pay.
Yeah, the bid is minimum. You can pay
अब जब
anything,
DTD से चले जाते पूरा बैग फिर सब करके दे देते हैं मेरे को.
right? So it's
Yeah.
about the bid. If you want to compete with your competition, your bid has to be near the average that Google is showing.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
No problem.
The next question we're taking is from Mr. Anirudh Singh. Please proceed, sir. Anirudh Singh.
Sir, I have a question regarding the advertising of Myntra and Amazon and even Flipkart. Even though they are well recognized brands, we still see their advertisement by one of the very well known actors and actresses. And why is that? And if they are well recognized, why do they do it repeatedly?
So basically celebrity endorsement plays a lot of vital role. Okay. It helps you create that differentiation. A lot of people doesn't care if they purchase it from Amazon or a Flipkart. You might find the same tools, same products listed on both the properties. Okay, when I'm talking about Amazon and Flipkart, they come in one category. Myntra is a separate fashion category which competes with Ajios of the world. So the products are same, the deals are same, everything is same. What is the differentiation? It's the attention, which is that brand that is taking my attention span, which is making remember one particular brand. That's the reason why I pick a celebrity endorsement. Okay, I might recall a brand just because of the face they are using, because the competition is so high that you need a differentiator. Now they can't differentiate with products, they can't differentiate with their prices. So what else is there? With their communication and with the face that is advocating their brand. So that's the reason why people are using celebrities even today.
Sir, one more thing. In the matter of window shopping and online shopping, even we know that there are some shops which are only available online, but we still try to find the things outside online shopping. So is it something that people are still scared of online shopping, even though they are advertising and they are 100% every 100% refund guaranteed and everything, even though they are providing everything they can, but still people are a little bit problematic, or you can say scared about online shopping?
Yeah, so see, India as a population, if you see, the percentage people on digital is very less, okay, as compared to the population of our entire country, right? So that happens because of the education. The literacy rate is higher. The people, uneducated people in our country are way more than people who are accessing digital right now, right? So if you tell them that you can order something online, they'll be definitely scared because uh, no one is willing to put their details on a website, right? No one is acknowledging that there might be a bank fraud, or there might be, the website might be fake. It's because of the education. uh, uh, in our country, it's sad that we don't have even a basic education to understand digital. uh, uh, then let's leave the digital education later. You might, when I made my first purchase, I bought uh, a t-shirt first time when I was in I guess school, 12th, or maybe the first year of my BBA. That was the first time I did a transaction, and even I was scared. What if my bank details got stolen? Because I was not aware of all the policies, all the security system, how safe it is, right? There's a reason why Paytm and WhatsApp heavily advertise about their safety and security, right? So it's about the education. In terms of, if education is there, there's nothing to worry about.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Next question.
Swati has a question.
Hello. My question is, how has ad blocking feature affected digital marketing? I mean, we know that it has deteriorated the ROI that comes with digital advertisement, but how exactly, to what scale exactly has ad blocking affected it? So that's my question.
So are you talking about the Google ad blocking plugin sort of a thing?
Yes, with it is the plugins are available with every platform, right? So we have we have multiple ad blocks for every website, I think. So how has that affected? I mean, we have ad blocks for YouTube videos. We have ad blocks when it comes to Google refining the search results. So how has that affected of
So
advertisement?
very marginal, because somewhere, as I told you, digital is not about just one platform. Okay, you might have 50, 60 apps installed in your apps, right? In your phone, right? There's a platform. I can reach out to you through notifications. You can't block notification. You can only turn off the notification if you're an Apple user. Google ad block doesn't make any. It only hampers my Google AdWords or any pop-up ads that's happening. I might target you through emails. I might target you through social media. I might target you through remarketing campaigns. So it's a very marginal, and advertisers are well aware of a spillover of certain things. Rather, we'll focus more on people reaching out. So it doesn't necessarily, it's a very marginal. For that matter, as a media planner, we don't even consider things like this. It's nothing to us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's make it quick, guys. I think the next
Yeah, we have
speaker
to.
will be also there.
Yeah, we can proceed to the panel discussion. So, Sunil sir, can you please tell that? Can we proceed to the panel discussion?
Yeah, hi. First of all, thanks, Ravish, for a very engaging talk. That was really good. I'm sure all the students enjoyed it, and welcome, Mr. Harshvardhan. So, just let me give a brief introduction of Harsh. So Harsh, I've always known him as a filmmaker. He has made films, and made films for BBC and Channel 4. He's done a film on Kumbh Mela, and he's been doing advertising campaigns for BMW and Mercedes and all. A lot of those YouTube videos, that you would see on these brands. Harsh has been doing that. So, I actually, would really start the tone of the panel discussion with my first question to Harsh. How do you see, Harsh, when you make a film, let's say for a traditional media, how do you see the difference in the shooting, or is there a difference, when you shoot and when you decide on the message strategy? When you're doing it, for the traditional media vis-a-vis, when you would like to, have a video, on a digital platform? Harsh, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear. I didn't hear the last part. I think you said the last I heard was, is it any different when you work for traditional media? Did you say anything after that?
Yeah. So is there a difference, when filming and shooting, happens, for a digital audience vis-a-vis your traditional media audience?
Well, that's a nice question. I'm glad you brought it up because I think what Ravish mentioned was that there is creativity only in advertising. I think there's creativity all over the place, right from making a chart in a restaurant to, rolling out naans. So creativity comes from everywhere. And coming back to this question, you see, it's only the form that has changed. And it's the target audience has always been, when we make an ad, the first question we ask the client is, who's the target? Who are you aiming it at? Then we begin our entire process of moving towards the final product. So the target has always been the mainstay of any advert campaign. Now, as far as traditional media, I think the methods that my friend Ravish uses now is also the same kind of methods. You have to use a camera, you have to use a light, you have a sound recordist, you have everything. So the tools have not changed. The tools remain the same, of course. Equipment gets better and better with the Japs who are always firing off new equipment every week. But the medium has changed. And yes, today it is the time of the digital media. It has entrenched itself so soundly, which is very well explained by Ravish, that everybody goes on this. Even now, I learned this lesson. I give you my own example. Some years back, I made something for Facebook. And as in the traditional manner, I started it with a black screen. So the client got back to me saying, hey, you need to change it. It took me 5 minutes to understand what the man meant. Because when you turn it on social media, it has to be there. The ad has to come like a shot. It has to hit you. The first frame has to be the ad because the content has to be seen at first. There's no point giving even a 2-second black. So these are the subtle changes that have occurred. Whereas I would have built up, if it is traditional, it may have built up in a certain manner. But now there is no time because attention spans have changed. So traditional to what is being done today. But coming back to that question of adverts, whether I'm working, I've done a lot of work with Audi, BMW, Volkswagen. I've done a lot of automobile advertisements, YouTube and other places. There too, you see, our method has been the same. We haven't changed our working in any way. It's only the end product. From a 3-minute film, we brought it down to 30 seconds. So it's just making it a little tighter and making it sharper thinking, to be thinking on your legs, beyond the run. There's no more laid back thinking because people don't have time. You have to say what you said in 5 minutes, you have to say it in 10 seconds. So that is the change that we've had. But tradition and to present, we are still, it's a marriage of both. You can't say that tradition was there and today it's changed.
So Harsh, if I understand, I mean, what you're saying is, talking about the content generation, the content is going to be, the rules of content generation is going to be same as it was before. But basically what has changed is exactly the interaction, with that content. How people are actually going to be interacting with that content is something, which has changed. Is that what I understand you are saying?
Yeah. You see, the methods remain the same. The target is more fluid now. You can't pinpoint, you have a target and you work within that space. But at the same time, your delivery, the method of your delivery has changed. Visually, things have become much tighter and faster is what I'm trying to say. Methods are the same still.
But don't you think so, when you're talking about content generation, for a digital platform, I think they need to be much more competitive, aggressive. I would want Ravish's opinion there as well. I mean, the traditional media content generation as compared to the digital media content generation, I think they have lesser time, to engage, with the audience, or let's say, it's much more challenging, for the audience to actually, engage as well as grasp the meaning of the content.
Yeah, so I agree with sir here that, as I mentioned also, the advertising methodologies, the content creation methodologies remain the same. It's just the platform we are talking about. Now, in an average, if everyone else compare us, you go through at least 15 to 20 content every day, right? Now, it's that one content piece that stands out, who's delivering that message in a very short time. As rightly said, that the duration has come down. Facebook thumb stoppers were all about 15-second movies. You tell your stories within 15 seconds. Because the attention span on our phone, we have a scrolling habit, right? We are watching a content. If the first 10 seconds doesn't engage with us, we are scrolling. And now all your hard work that you put towards creating that content has gone with just a scroll, right? So it's about the first impression, definitely, that it has to be engaging enough in the first 10-15 seconds if you want the user to stick to your content. However, the ideologies to create a good content is timeless. It will always be timeless. Advertising person will always be thinking about beautiful stories, right? What can engage. But definitely, due to the clutter on digital, there's a lot of clutter that is happening on digital, and people tend to scroll. It's just like the remote switch, right? As soon as the ad comes on TV, you switch the channel, right? On digital, it's simple as scroll, or you swipe it so that you don't have to watch. So definitely time is one thing. However, how impactful, brands are also putting 3-minute worth advertising, sir. So it's not that all the digital content is restricted to a 1 minute or a 30-second.
No, I didn't mean that. I have done lengthy ones as well. It's just that the trend is more. Like, sorry to have interrupted you, but you see, let's take up Audi as an example. I have done 5 seconds, 6 seconds. I have done 5-minuters because it depends on what they need. Now, I worked a lot with WK. I'm sure you would have heard of WK.
Yeah.
So these guys just wanted the badging of the car. So if I need the badging of the car, it can't last for more than 5 to 7 seconds, 5 seconds, 7 seconds. Sometimes it's the engine. So I rely more on, the sound of the engine. If you can recreate that, it's good as something next to it. So I get where you're going. I'm not saying that nobody does 3-minuters. They do it. Some even want longer ones when it's a kind of walkthrough of their entire range of cars like Audi has done. But yeah, it does shuttle between time slots.
Yeah, definitely agree. As per the client requirement, and we both would definitely understand the client requirement all the time. So that's there. It's definitely the objective of the video has to be aligned with the duration, and if the things can be done in 5 seconds, nothing good than that. Facebook promotes that shorter videos perform better. So a lot of brands are trying now shorter variations of there. They also adapt their mainline TVC into a digital rendition, which is just a cut shots of 30 seconds maybe.
All right, there's one more interesting thing, that I would like to ask and possibly, throw up for discussion. Yeah, good, that we have got somewhere around 100 people here who could also give their opinion. I've considered initially, social media as a double-edged sword. It's fantastic when it comes to cost effectiveness and, customer engagement and taking the customer through the journey, as you talked about, Ravish. But, I mean, a lot of brands have got a lot of trouble. They've got into trouble. I mean, Tanishq is something, that we are witnessing right now these days, but, Snapdeal and Amir Khan and so many other people, don't you think so? For, I would like to know the company perspective. I mean, both Harsh and Ravish can, reply to this. How does company actually react to when it comes to, because traditional media, they had more control, definitely, it had its own limitation. But don't you think so with all the advantages, of the digital media, where consumer engagement and interaction is going to be happening, somewhere the power has shifted, to the masses. And that's a good thing. But, how does the company actually look at the downside and such kind of negative campaigns, which can be very, very dangerous and possibly embarrassing, for company to be managing?
So, Harsha, if I might go first, if it's okay with you.
Harsh, would you like to?
Yeah, please go first.
Yeah. So definitely there's advantages.
Harsh, I think there's a connectivity issue here. Yeah, Ravish, you go, please.
Yeah.
Please go ahead.
So obviously,
Ravish?
So obviously, brands see digital. As you said, the power hasn't shifted. Basically, advertising was always supposed to be more conversational. Instead of a one-way communication like in a TVC. Today, the importance of customer voice has become more important. Brands are fearless about handling the situation. Most of the time, their PR agencies leverage that negative and make it to a positive sentiment. So with GroupM, when I was with GroupM, we had online reputation management (ORM) services for Nestle. Okay, and if you remember, the Nestle crisis was one of the biggest crises that happened. However, our agency took it like an opportunity to create a more strong bond with the customers, right? If you remember the dairy milk campaign that happened when Amitabh Bachchan was roped in, right? So definitely, what happened with Tanishq has some negative connotation to it, but then the people standing in favor of them, who were not speaking about the brand at all, has drastically increased in last week, right? If you talk about me, I have nothing to do with Tanishq, but today my LinkedIn post has Tanishq mentions where I'm supporting the brand and I'm appreciating their advertising. So it has both pros and cons, but I think so. Digital has that power to be more conversational with your customers, and it's okay. There's no brand in this world which doesn't have a negative sentiment customer. You name any brand and they will, no brand ever has like 100% happy customers, right? It's just that digital has given voice to those customers, and that's totally okay. I would say.
Yeah, Harsh, your take, please.
Yeah. Can I come in? Can you hear me?
Yes, please go
Am I
ahead. Please
audible?
go ahead. Yes.
Okay, now I've seen that ad of Tanishq only after it created a storm, and that too in the passing. I think it's the problem is with us. We live in a very, we are always, it's a very dichotomous situation. On one hand, this is an ad that shows you something and we are thinking of banning it or coming up with problems. Who has a problem? It's the people. It's the people whose minds are not clear. If this was the case, I think Amul should have shut down years ago, because their advertising is always topical. They bring up something or the other. So it's in the people who are not thinking the right way and are being pushed by people who have an axe to grind. So it's mercy of nothing. I mean, the social media is a double-edged weapon. It's very good, and at one hand, and the other, social media is voyeuristic. We have, I mean, people giving opinions when they do not know the matter. Whether it's this advert or anything, I mean, it's a collection of it. I mean, tomorrow you expect me to write a paradigm on horological space? No, I don't. But I will put it on the internet and make an ass of myself. I mean, half the guys who give opinions are putting their foot in their mouth, and which we are very good. Human beings are very good at doing it, minding somebody else's business, not their own. So this is all a mix and kind of pushing it on to people. I'm totally with what he says. There's nothing wrong with the Tanishq ad. The little that I saw, I didn't see the whole thing. I had a very bad connection. If you look at it, everything has, yeah, your hair is looking all right. Sorry about that. Gentleman has just woken up. So what we need to, whenever we see a situation like this, I think it is for us to think and decide instead of take somebody else's opinion and then, dwell on it and take it up. That's my little bit on it, because it's really not, it would be wrong to hold Tanishq or the ad agency. I don't know which agency it is that put it up, but every ad you can look, I mean, every coin has two sides. Every ad has two sides. So you want to look at the negative part of it, you're welcome.
All right. Is there any other question that we may take from the audience? Yeah, sorry, Harsh. Are you done?
I have one question to, not question, but an observation to Ravish. This CRED ad that you mentioned, right? I've been seeing it. How many people do you think get the ad on the first shot? And that is one part. B is, do you think, don't see it from your point of view as an ad man. I don't want to look at it from my point, because the first time I saw it, I was sitting in a room with some other people who said, what's this? What happened? They didn't get it. So how many people do you think, it's a very brave ad, I love that ad. How many people do you think in terms of percentage understand what they said?
So I think so. It depends. I think so. They're majorly targeting a very, urban tier 1, early 30s audience, I would say, and at least it makes you think about it, right? The reason we are talking about it right now, even if we don't get it, is certainly
Harsh, we are not in that. Harsh, we are not in that early 30s. So I guess that's what Ravish is hinting at.
I'm not intense.
See, I'm coming to something. I'll rewind the whole bit of advertising to something else. But you see, it's a brilliant ad. It's a brilliant ad. Not many people would have the guts to do it. I mean, it's good that CRED, the company, has agreed to this. I don't know which agency has done it either. But it's in a way, what was done 40 years ago and people didn't understand. I don't know, many of you may or may not have heard of a man called Mahmood, who was a Hindi movie comedian. Can we mute this Amrish Puri voice on the thing?
It is Avinash Kumar. Yeah, name sounds quite similar. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
we muted, sir.
Mahmood started his first movie called Mastana. And he did, I mean, those days you didn't have much of movie ads except in theaters. So radio had an ad which only said 3 lines in Mahmood's voice. Mahmood ka Mastana mat dekho, mat dekho, mat dekho. Mahmood ka Mastana mat dekho, mat dekho, mat dekho. This was an ad that came out on Vivid Bharati on Wednesday or something. Friday, the movie was released to full houses. Negative advertising.
Yeah.
Right? Because everybody thought, Mahmood is saying this, what's wrong with him? We must go and see it. He did not need to create a controversy, with some political. He just came and said, don't do it, don't watch my movie.
Same happened with
In the
Arjun
third
Reddy.
person, not even saying, Mera Mastana mat dekho. So Cred has done an incredible job. I mean, who's the agency, Ravish?
I'm not sure. I know the Tanishq agency is
Okay.
Ogilvy.
Sir, even Arjun Reddy's
Yeah, I
Telugu
know that,
version
that
has done the same thing. Like they have said that a student shouldn't watch it. They said that children and women shouldn't watch it. So they have got the impulse to know why we shouldn't watch it. So most of them rushed into it. Like Kabir Singh original version is Arjun Reddy. So negative advertising is quite good nowadays.
All right. Can we have any other questions from the audience? Because we are going to be winding up, another 5 or 10 minutes. So, if, any quick questions
I
anybody
think
has?
Aditi Singh Rathore has a question, I guess. She has raised the hand, I guess. Or anyone else?
All right. Can we have Aditi?
Okay. Anyone else? Priya Rajput or Avinash Kumar, Shenab, Anshu? Anyone?
All right. I guess, if there are no questions, then can we wind off with a thanks vote? And is Dr. Sumit here?
Yeah.
Dr. Sumit Gupta?
Yeah, so if, can I proceed?
Yeah, please proceed. Please proceed.
Yeah, so I think nobody has any queries right now. So I would like to call Sanskriti for the conclusion here. Please, Sanskriti.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Ravish and Mr. Harsh, for such an interactive session. And I would like to thank the audience as well for participating and asking the questions. So it was a great session, and we are hoping that we'll have these kind of interactive session again with Mr. Ravish and Mr. Harsh. So thank you, and we end the session over here.
No, let us expect Dr. Sumit sir to.
Yeah, I'm there. I'm very much there.
Okay, Sumit sir is here. Sumit
Yeah.
sir is here.
Thank Dr. Sunil. Are you able to hear my voice better?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Ravish. I listened your entire session, and thank you so much for wonderful discussion. And thank you the other panelists, because this is a way the student learn digital advertising. And the moving forward, the era is only for digital. So that way, this workshop will be immensely benefit to the students. So from General Management Department, School of Business, I thank you for sparing your time and give your learning to our students. So thank you so much, and we hope to see you in campus once campus is open to students to join back. So thank you so much, students, and over to student moderator for the further proceedings. Thank you so much.
On behalf of, thank you Sumit sir, thank you Sunil sir, thank you Devkant sir and Mr. Ravish and Mr. Harshvardhan sir for giving your time, and thank you so much sir. And on behalf of GEMS Marketing Club, we conclude this session, and thanks to all the members of GEMS Marketing Club. Since last 1 week they have been marketing it on Insta, Facebook, WhatsApp, LinkedIn and everywhere, telling their classmates to the benefit of this, and thankful to all of you, and myself, the president, and all the vice presidents of GEMS Marketing Club are pretty proud of all the initiatives we have taken till now, and we hope the club and the college, everyone grows together. Club and college and the students grow together, and the vision of enhancing everyone to the highest potential through holistic development and continuous improvement will live on. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Sunil sir.
Thank you, Banu.
Thank
So
you.
once again, thanks,
Thank you,
Ravish, thanks, Harsh, for a fantastic session, and thanks to all the students. I hope you enjoyed it. Until next webinar that we are going to be having. So have a great day, great time. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you, everyone. Bye, guys. Take care.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, James. Thank you, sir.
You guys can leave the session now. It's over.
Yes.